I don't usually dabble with cool tones. Cool tones aren't always my vibe, but I do like to play with them every now and again. I don't share many cool tone makeups on this channel, but today we are embracing the cool tone. Today's makeup is going to be like a cool toned, soft grunge glam, I think. I'll leave again a clip here of what it's gonna look like. You will have already seen already, but I don't know yet. There's no messing today, we're getting straight into the video. If you do like it, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe as well. And yeah, cool tones, here we come. I am just gonna apply a little bit of primer as well. I know I don't always use primer, but I feel like I have got more open pores like here at the moment, so I've just used a little bit of the Fenty Beauty primer. I also feel like I'm losing my voice as well for some reason, so if I sound really groggy, then that is why. Okay, so we'll do eye base first, which we'll use the P. Louise base again. And I've already carved underneath my brow, so I only need like a little bit on my lid just to sort of even everything out. This is the first time doing like proper makeup with my hair as well, so I do feel a little bit weird. It is slightly, even though it's like a little bit more redder and auburny, it is slightly darker, I think, than what I was before. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments. Okay, so we've got our eye base on. For eyeshadows today, I'm going to use a palette which I don't think I've used in like 12 months. But I've got the Tartelette in Bloom palette. And I really like this because it is slightly more cooler in tone, like more taupey and greyish browns, which is this one right here. And I am going to stick to using one palette, I promise, today. So we're only going to be using this one, but you can use like any sort of grey tones, cool tone browns will work absolutely fine. So I'm going to start with Flower Child, which is that one right there. And it's like an off-white sort of cream colour. And this is literally going all over my lid and then into my crease. I don't know whether this is going to make much difference because it's pretty much, it's only like slightly darker than the base that I've put on. I mean, it hasn't really made much difference, but it has just kind of set it all in place and it has slightly darkened it a little bit. Next, we will use this one right there, which is called Smarty Pants. And again, it's more of like a cool tone brown. It's not too dark either, but it's nice and light, so it's a good place to kind of start from. So on the same fluffy brush, I'm going to take this into my crease first. And just like we did in the other video, which you'll see if you watch that after, kind of not wing it out, as in like we're going to be doing a winged eyeliner, but I do like it to be sort of, I call it blown out. So it's just like really seamless and like buffed out towards your temple. So I'll start in the crease with this first. And then I do like to buff it back. I know we have got to apply like foundation and everything, so we can work on it after, but I do like to get like a shape there so I know where I'm going from later on. I like looks like this as well because you don't have to be as precise as you think you do. The more you sort of blend and buff out, the more seamless it is, but I mean, you can be a little bit messy with it, to be honest, because they're not like really dark colours either. And then I'm also taking this all over my lid as well. So just with the same brush, just patting it on. Okay, then I'm going to move on to Jet Setter, which is that one, which is just a little bit darker. And again, it's more like a taupey brown. I'm switching brushes to a slightly thinner brush, but you could stay and stick to using the exact same one. And I'm going to deepen up my crease with this. And then also buff this out. I like these because they're cool tones, but they're not too grey. I don't feel like I can pull off grey eyeshadow very well. Whereas like a taupey brown and like a really cool tone brown, I'm fine with that. I'm going to leave it like that for now, and then we can do eyeliner next. So I'm going to do the same kind of smoky liner. This needs sharpening. So I'm going to use this to do my smoky liner. This is from Decay. It's the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Demolition. This is like a nice cool tone brown. So just a really rough line just over my lid. So I'm first going to take Smarty Pants, which was the lightest, well, the medium, the middle shade that we used. I'm just going to take that on a little pencil brush, and then I'm just going to start smoking that out. This might take a little bit longer because this pencil does set quite quickly, so you do have to work with it, keep going until it blends out finally. Your aim really is that you don't want like a harsh line, you want it to be nice and smoky. And then I'm also now going to pick up Jet Setter, which was the last shade that we used, and just blend that over the top, mainly on the outer corner with this one, so it's slightly darker on the outer corner, and then work your way in. Okay, so I've got that to pretty much where I want it. The next shade that I'm going to use is Activist, which is this one right here. This one is quite a dark brown, so I'm only going to use this sparingly because I don't want it to look like too dark. But I'm just going to pick a little bit of this up and put this on my outer sort of V, and then when we come to blend it out a little bit more later on, I'll work on blending it a bit better. I just feel like I want a little bit more darkness in this outer corner. I'm only using a very light hand. So kind of coming down onto the liner just to darken that outer space a little bit. And then with the bigger brush, I'm going to take Jet Setter and just buff over that line, buff out those edges a little bit. And then on this like very inner part, I'm going to use Rocker, which is this like really, it's more of like a metallic-y, it's not too shimmery, it's like a nice taupey grey. So I'm just going to take a bit of that on my ring finger and just pop a little bit just on this inner part of the lid, only a little bit, just to bring out the grey tones a little bit more. I'm going to now just apply some lashes and mascara off camera because they take me so long to do, so I will be back when they are on. So my lashes are on. I did put some on, I didn't like them, so I had to take them off and put some new ones on. So that is why I never put lashes on camera, because it never goes right for me. I am going to start my under eyes now and then do my base and then finish them off after. I can't find, oh I can find it now, concealer. So I'm just going to pop just a little bit of concealer under my eyes. Just wipe away any fallout, just so my eyeshadow's got something to stick to. So it doesn't have to be neat, just a little bit as a base will be fine. And then I'm just gonna just buff that in. Okay, so you can see we're kind of getting like that blown out shape now. The first thing that I'm going to do is just use Flower Child to just set that underneath the eye. So I need a clean brush. I'm just going to use this little one. I'm just going to dust that underneath my eye just so it kind of sets the concealer in place. My waterline with that same pencil. I have also done my top waterline. I don't know what that's called already. And I'm also trying to just get it in the roots of my bottom lashes as well. It's really hard to do this with one hand. Okay, so starting with Smarty Pants, which was the middle shade we used, I'm just taking that on a little smudger brush. I'm just going to run this under my eye. So that's just started the buffing out, and I do want this to be like quite blown out, so I'm going to blend it down like quite far. So next I'm taking Jet Setter, not Trendsetter, on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to start buffing this all along. And because I do want it to meet in this outer corner, I am going to blend it down like further than I would think, and then I'm going to go back in with the lighter one just to really buff it round. It look really blown out. And the good thing about doing this first is that if you blend down further than you would like, you can always clean it off with your foundation and concealer, so don't worry too much about that. And then if you want to, you can even take a bigger one, just apply a little bit more, really buff it round. Don't be scared to blend it down and out like further than you usually would, especially if you want it to look more smoky and a bit more grungy. And then you can take like the fluffy brush that you've been working with, just blend out the edges. And I do want to go in with Activist, which was that quite dark cool tone brown. And I just want some of this just right on the very outer corner. Okay, so we can leave that there for now, and we can work on buffing out the outer corners after we've done all our base makeup. So for foundation, I'm going to use the Milani 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I'm using the shade 6 and 2, and we're going to mix them both together. 6 is just a little bit dark for me at the moment. So I'll do like 2 pumps of 6, and then I'll just see what I can get out of 2 because it is pretty much all run out. And this is more of like a glammed up makeup, so we'll go for more of like a full coverage I think today. And as always, I am using a beauty sponge because that's just the way I prefer to use blending my foundation. And again, this is going to be slightly too dark for me, but I don't mind using like a darker foundation because you can always lighten it up when you apply your concealer anyway, so I don't really worry too much about that, to be honest. I do love this foundation so much though. It gives such a full coverage, but it's not like a matte finish at all. It's not too dry for me or anything like that. And then for my concealer, I'm using Makeup Revolution C5. I have just ordered that Barry M one that everybody uses. I think it's like the all-nighter one or something. So I'm looking forward to that getting here because I hear really good reviews about that. So I won't, hopefully, have to use the same concealer for every tutorial. So for the under eyes, I'm just leaving the very inner part of the eye. I'm going to do a little bit up where my contour will be as well. So sharpen that area up. Okay, so leave it like that for now. And then I'm just going to put, do I want to risk it? No, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to blend this out first and then put my contour on after. Let's not tempt fate, eh? Okay, so for the under eyes, I'm going to start by tapping it all in where I can. Mainly like on this outer edge, and then I'll go in with a brush to blend out the rest. So just with a fluffy brush, you'll probably find you'll need to just apply a little bit more concealer as well afterwards. But I don't really want to bring the concealer up too high because I want this to be sort of a little bit more grungy and blended down a little bit further than I usually would. Okay, really happy with that. I'm going to do my contour now. This is the Rimmel and it's the Duo stick, and I'm using the shade medium today. Just going to fill in that gap where my contour needs to be, and then just a little bit around my forehead, and then any excess I can, I might just put a little bit under my lip. So just giving these a good buff in, and then here I do like to blend it up onto my cheeks as well. As long as you're not blending your contour down, always blend it up. You'll be absolutely fine with contour. And then I do like to come around the top of my forehead, and I blend mine like into my temple as well. These little sticks blend like so effortlessly too. We just need to set it in place. So for that, what am I using? RCMA No Colour Powder. Absolutely love this stuff. Still haven't decanted it into the container I bought for it though, because I'm lazy. So start with my chin, round my nose, and then under my eyes. My bronzer, I'm using the Urban Decay Beach Bronzer. Absolutely love this bronzer. So just over my contour and then onto my cheeks. Because this is more of like a cool toned makeup, I wouldn't go too heavy with like the warm bronzers or anything, so I'll just do like a wash of this like over my cheeks and then around my forehead, and then I'll use like a cool tone blusher as well. I think for my blusher I've got this palette from, that was crap at showing, from Primark. I think it's just called In the Pink, but there's a nice sort of like cool toned purpley pink there. So I'm going to use that for my blush today. Not too much though, because I'm not a huge blush fan anyway, to be honest. Okay, so just moving on to the eyes again, I'm going to take Jet Setter on a fluffy brush and just start to really buff this out, make it look really seamless. So I like to buff mine out to like, well, pretty much my hairline, like where my temple is. And I just think it looks really nice that way. Then I'm going to do lips and then highlight today, just to switch things up a little bit. So I'm going to use my Jeffree Star Leo lip liner, which I think I might have used in my last video actually. I don't want this to be sort of too dark, but it does need to be like more of a cool toned nude, I think. Like that. And then for lipstick, I'm going to use the Jeffree Star Celebrity Skin liquid lipstick, because this one is again a nice nude, but it's nice and cool toned. Okay, and then for my highlighter, I'm going to use this shimmer highlighting powder from MUA Makeup Academy, and this is in the shade Radiant Cashmere. It's like a really light, like champagne colour. It's really pretty. I think the last few of my makeup tutorials have been quite matte, so I'll go a little bit stronger on the highlight for this one. And then we'll do a little bit for the inner corners as well. Okay guys, so that is the finished look, and that completes my cool toned grunge glam autumn makeup tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did down in the comments. Please give it a big thumbs up as well and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!